curse, you could spoil, you could do everything.
Fuck.
Come on.
Hey, come on, this is a family show. I didn't think you get anti-Semitic with it.
What really made it was that you had such a little boy innocence of like you were free. On your face, you felt a power you'd never felt before.
I remember being on the computer for like the first time in like 1996 and like typing fart and going, yes. I found my calling. That's where the trolling began.
Well, that was interesting how all those, it didn't matter what the curse word was. Anything.com I felt like took you to porn. Even if it wasn't specific to the, like a piss.com brought me to like just normal porn. It wasn't piss porn.
Yeah. I remember trying to buy movie tickets. I would go to unitedartists.com, which takes you to porn. Like, weirdly enough, but unitedartist.com takes you to the website to buy movie tickets.
Weird.
It's not that way anymore. That's Web 2.0 shit, baby. We are 3.0. Everything has the web. Means we're at the next level of human evolution. And we all have zero crystals in our phones.
Christ.
So we can all morph. We saw Power Rangers.
Power.
Woo! Oh, but first, Cam is here.
Hi everyone.
So introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Cameron Sun. I was born in 1993, August 29th.
Okay.
We have
Not my entire life story.
Know you
trying to
from?
steal your identity.
Where do we know you from? What's your thing?
If you go to friendster.com/CamsCreations, actually, no, just kidding. YouTube.com. I make little like visual effects, superpower.
Cool. Yeah.
How's your Friendster presence though?
Oh, it's great. I have 20 friends. It's great. It's amazing.
I don't even like that is a reference that everyone makes that I've never seen that website.
I missed the whole even MySpace train. It just
really?
Like, yeah.
Oh, really?
That was beyond you?
I was like, no, I was in China, so there wasn't. Like,
what do they have over there?
I mean, I got into like Facebook in 2007, 8 or so.
Yeah.
I just like used my school forum. Like that's what
you laugh. I'm not trying to bait like a racist joke. Like it's just different social networks in the East. It's totally different. Like,
I got on Facebook before it was banned. It was banned maybe like 2-3 years after it was introduced. Yeah.
Wow.
Now there's no. Now there's
Shanghai.
Yeah.
Okay, which is different than Hong Kong, which is like a different like country.
It's like it's a geographically a different city.
Right.
So think like New York and
but like,
Boston.
It doesn't.
And
I don't
like
think it's banned in Hong Kong. Motherfucker. No, I know, but I'm talking about like legal jurisdictions. I feel like we've talked about the Communist Party of China like 3 or 4 times.
What came up it came up with the Great Wall.
Yeah, it sure did.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like Hong Kong is kind of like it was a British colony, and Shanghai has always been just part of the mainland, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Power Rangers from Japan.
Oh, yeah, that's a different country also.
It is. It's a different jurisdiction.
It's not the same as Hong
Legal
Kong.
jurisdictions.
I don't think so, Cam. I also like that your Cam's Creation thing. That's the name of his channel. It sounds like something that would play for like 5 minutes after a Power Rangers episode.
Sure.
Cam's Creations. You know what I mean?
Like
It'd
a
be
Disney Channel buffer.
Yeah. Now you know because it's Mike's Super Short. Yeah. It'd be like Cam's Creation. It'd be like you in like this very colorful orange and yellow lab.
You should when you get married and have a family, you should do a separate vlog channel also called Cam's Creations, where you talk about your kids.
Oh, about like creating kids?
Yeah, you made them with your penis and semen.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, great idea.
I saw Power Rangers, guys.
Good eye contact. Some very unsettling eye contact on penis and semen.
2017 movie directed by Dean Israelite.
Right.
I don't know who he is. What did he do?
Project Almanac before this, and that was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some things are going to start making sense.
Mm-hmm. I didn't see Project Almanac. What was the deal with that?
I saw Project Almanac.
It's like Chronicle, but like not
it was found footage time travel movie. It was this kid finds out that his dad was a scientist and made a time machine, and it was in his fucking basement for some reason.
Whoa, that's awesome.
It was okay. You know, the movie had like, it was one of those weird ones that was randomly inspired, and it would bother you that as a whole the movie was stupid, and it did. Yeah, well, so here we go, right?
Little echoes with this project here.
Yes.
That seems to be the fucking big criticism of how tonally inconsistent this movie is. I mean, I was doing a little research online, seeing what people were saying, and that's the same thing of like, this is the most schizophrenic movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
The first 15 minutes of this movie give you a lot of hope. It's just like, okay, this is kind of funny.
Sure.
Like, okay, well, stop. Let me do my bit.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
It's kind of funny. You know, it's charming. It's good enough. It's not like the writing surprises you a little bit.
I was still like on board.
Yes.
Like I wouldn't say I was like, this is going to be amazing. I was just like, okay, I'm going to go with it and see where it goes.
It gives you little weird bits like Jason going to Billy's house and his mom, like quick cut to the house. Mom opens the door and the mom goes, "Oh my God, it's Jason Scott." And it's just like quick cuts. It's very silly and sort of campy, but not at the same time. It's got heart, and then it just changes into a different movie about 9 or 8 times.
Yeah,
about like teenagers and their hormones and emotions and
but not even
it's not even like real.
Theme, though,
it's not even
right?
like real emotions. It's just like manufactured like emotions by the studio.
And that's what being a ranger should have been an allegory for, which is becoming an adult, right? Because that's where you should take this.
Yeah.
Or just the teen
thing. It should be a coming
of
age thing.
Yes.
But it shouldn't be like as CWE like fake. Like
it is just staying of age. Like it's very teenager.
I live for the scenes where it's in the midst of that they're training to fight rock monsters and a scary skeleton woman.
Yeah.
They sit around a campfire and talk about how sad they are about their dad. Like I live for that shit in movies, but in this it was like, what are we doing?
Yes, well, because
I was so
contrived,
and maybe it's because there's like 5 of them, and when you do 5 monologues about how someone's mom's dying, someone's mom doesn't like that they're gay, and someone's dad doesn't like that they're gay, and someone's mom doesn't like.
Right.
I just got
someone's dad and mom don't like that they're
exactly.
gay.
I just fucking tired.
I think the director saw that there are scenes like that are great in other movies, and they're like, we need that one scene where they explain why they're all sad and messed up.
Sure. Well,
and they're just like, let's put it there.
The original pitch and the first 2 drafts were written by Max Landis, and his pitch.
Was it 2 drafts?
Yeah, he did the first 2, and I'm pretty sure his pitch was it is Super Sentai meets The Breakfast Club, right? Where it's we're gonna fight some fucking big monsters, and we're gonna learn something about ourselves in this after-school detention thing, which is intact, sort of, for like the first 10 minutes of the movie, where they put him in detention, and then it just pulls away from that. And like this movie is never consistent. So you introduce Billy Cranston, who is autistic, and it's like, oh cool. So it's like we have diversity in the group, and then he's not autistic by about 40% in the movie. Like he makes an explicit point to say, I don't understand humor, and then continues to make intentional jokes.
He makes the most jokes
the whole movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Gosh.
Yeah.
What a movie.
In the beginnings, I get what we could start, we could start where things start, which is at the start. And in the yeah, you know.
Wait, can we just start at like the 40-minute?
God damn it, Cam! The beginning of the movie opens with Power Rangers dying. With the previous Rangers at their defeat.
Well,
wait. Did you guys see that?
But not the 65 million Rangers. You're talking about like the early 90s Rangers, right? Like the original Jason Scott and like those guys die, and these are the new Rangers. Is that what you're talking about?
No, the movie opens.
Like when Bryan Cranston died.
Oh, I think you're talking about what you should have done. Okay,
no. Rangers. And so when it started that way, and now let's beyond the fact that me and Ryan were talking about this, that it didn't look like someone was paying attention to what the camera was pointing at for most of the movie. But like in the beginning, I was like, okay, this is kind of neat. We're watching Power Rangers die.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna know that these kids.
Did you guys see that online? What is it? The gritty version, like the gritty Power Rangers.
Sure.
We talk about Adi Shankar.
The beginning of that short is very similar to the beginning of this.
I don't remember it.
It's just like really gritty, like war scene where they're shooting and Red Rangers are dying with like alien spaceships and stuff. And I'm
that
like,
is true. Yeah,
the director must have like seen that and been like, we should start off our movie like that.
That's
and I'm
almost 100%
cool
what it was.
Conceptually, that's awesome. That's a neat way to start Power Rangers.
Yeah,
but then it like you said, it goes from that where you're like, wow, these are like heroes. This is a mantle that people pick up and become the Rangers and save the world. And these ones failed. And now we know these kids are going to get it. And then it's like, I jerked off a cow in the very next scene.
Yeah, that's true, man.
And that probably went over like all the kids' heads too there. They're like, oh.
Did it though? Because they drive it home with 4 separate lines where they talk about like, that's not Nutter. It's not Nutter. And then he looks at the dick and goes, oh.
Yes.
It's like, so this movie opens with joke about jerking off a cow, ends with dialogue about friendship. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, we have to be the best Rangers and beat the bad guy.
I like that in that, it was like as if we didn't get the joke. Yeah, that where he looks down at the the penis.
No, I thought
it
he was
like
he was looking at
40% of the screen.
Yes.
I thought he was looking at the udder though.
It's
right?
the dick.
It's the one udder that the cow had, so I thought that would.
Cam,
Is this
No, I'm pretty sure because like it's like he has a male. Wait,
I hate you, man. I can't tell if you're doing a bit or not.
he's good at it. I didn't know that about Cam until we started hanging out. He would like just slip these little
Things in me.
Right? Yeah.
So what is that?
And I go, what are you doing?
I think I might push like the dry humor too far sometimes, and people aren't sure.
Whoa, watch out. Cam's
Don't push
crazy.
the dry humor. Gotta make sure it's
I'm
wet
crazy
first.
guy. Like in that movie, how people are just described as like,
Right. So
crazy girl, crazy guy.
there are more of these, like, there are more of those things where I think it was, and we talked about like the lore of this was kind of neat. I like, because I never really, in my Power Ranger fandom, I didn't give a shit about where they came from.
The lore,
And
yeah,
also,
nobody
I
thinks
wasn't,
about
you
that.
didn't really care about it when you're 11.
Yeah. Sure.
You know what I mean? And then like now though, I like hearing, oh, this is a whole like galactic destiny.
Sure.
Like you get picked by these magical things, and like some of them died before, and that's like why. Was his name Zordon? That's why Zordon is him, because he was a was that a thing that he was a ranger?
No,
that
that
wasn't a ranger before, right?
No, that wasn't like that wasn't the thing. But it's
kinda
okay
like that
because
'cause
that
who
works
cares?
perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly, that works fine.
And it's like, oh, right, cool. They kept him and he got stuck in the ship. And like, I don't know, man. Like there was all these cool ideas in them, but the execution just tended to be like,
I love the aesthetic choice of putting Zordon in the graphite wall. Like, you know, some producer was
that
at
was pretty
Spencer's
nice.
Gifts with his kid. He's like, Dad, look at this. And he's putting that fucking spike thing
the
on his face. Son, wait, let me take a picture of this. Show it to the VFX guys. That's what's
take
happening.
a picture of this. And
I mean, I
send
think
it
that was
to
like a
Saban.
decent choice. Like,
Sure, yeah.
You know, it was fine. It was
Yeah.
cool.
There was
And
a lot of choices in this that were decent choices.
a lot of it's coming down to
Like
two,
aesthetically, I thought it was fine. Like I feel like
I would.
I thought
partially disagree
I thought
on you.
most of it looked bad. It just
yeah.
looked. It was like glossy and weird. It was that new halfway between TV special effects and movie, and it was just. I don't know, man. So much of it didn't hold up, and I think a lot of it, it's like it was my problem with, you know, even Monster Trucks, where it was like, this movie's very dumb. However, if I felt like it was being carried by truly charming, enchanting actors, and I was just like, I know you're saying dumb shit, but you like Grant Gustin on The Flash. I feel like he has a lot of bad dialogue, and a lot of the things in that show
he's
are
like-
bad.
he's good enough
Yeah,
that
you're kind of like, you just
you buy
like
it.
watching him, and he's funny, and like there's something about his expressions when he's got, and I didn't feel that at all in this.
Yeah. Sure.
I never really was like, I didn't feel like I was ever being taken by the hand. I felt like I was being challenged.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like you never emotionally identified with any of the characters really.
No.
I feel like it's just like because it's partially the writing, obviously, then also partially the acting. Like both just weren't.
But
up
that's
to
a
par.
huge failure in the Power Rangers movie because I either need to not give a fuck about these kids and
Or
be
really
on board
care.
for the camp or care about them. And it did that
Right.
exactly. It did that CW weird middle ground where it's like,
Yeah.
we're going to be melodrama.
Campy, but we also kind of want you to care, but then not put
Exactly.
enough effort into making you
Right.
care.
And even the writing, it reflects that. Like sometimes they're cracking jokes where it's like, oh, you're self-aware, you know what this is. And then other times you have lines like Elizabeth Banks choking the Yellow
God.
Ranger and going, I'm going to let you free. Just kidding. And then throws her across the room. And it's, who wrote that?
Yeah, that made me.
Is this campy or is this like...
I laughed really hard. It was actually, for what it's worth, that was one of my biggest laughs in a movie recently.
Oh man, it
But
killed
like,
me.
was it because it was really funny, or you just like, what the, like, what's going on?
I
It was
couldn't
just like-
tell. Tim thinks maybe that Elizabeth Banks knew the movie, right? You were
think
saying
she
that.
knows. I think she was the only one there. Or,
She was going full out camp all the way.
Sure, yeah, 100%.
And she
Either-
was consistently that way.
Either she didn't know what movie she was in, or she knew exactly what movie she's
But
in,
the
which is
entire
the
movie
problem
was-
with the movie.
Yeah.
It felt like there was so much of her dialogue specifically, let alone everybody else's, was like someone LARPing and knowing
Yeah,
kind of what they're supposed to be saying, but not exactly.
That
Where
is
she was like, and
100% it.
then I'm going to I'm going to kill you all one by one, and you're gonna die. I was like,
I
fuck,
need
dude.
the crystal coins, the coins to get power and raise my gold.
you can't move. You can't move. I have you in the ropes. You can't move.
Clarify. How many health points do you have?
So yeah, fuck.
We've been learning.
Yeah, sorry. Tim and I were just
So
like,
in conclusion, we love this movie.
Yeah,
Let
great,
them
great,
go watch
exactly.
it.
great.
thanks for listening to Reasonable Beef, everybody. Now I don't know.
Hilarious
man.
that motivation of Rita was a Green Ranger, but she wanted more power.
She wanted to be a better,
That's
stronger.
all we hear.
Yep.
That's it. And that would be fine in a dumber movie. You know what I mean? It's not dumb enough.
And here's a character. Sorry. So like, again, how much can you excuse when you like care about the people? And it's like, what if just accidentally in the Power Rangers movie in 2017 that the best part of it just happened to be like the mom and son relationship between the two characters?
Sure.
Like I would have been totally fine with that, even if I was like, well, it's kind of boring, like the action didn't really. But like, they just did all that stuff surface level, where it was so like, that's where you're talking about, where it just would switch back and forth really weirdly. It's like you have these really tender, quiet scenes with the self-proclaimed crazy guy, in the bedroom with his dying mother giving her medicine.
Yeah, and it's pretty
like
sweet,
very quiet, and it's kind of shot differently than the whole movie.
Yeah,
and then he's like, "I'm gonna jump on a train," backflips off a mountain, and you're like, "Oh."
Well, so this, I think it has 6 writing credits on it in this movie. And I've said this is the most 6 people wrote this movie I've ever seen in my entire life. It's pretty insane, like how many cooks were in the kitchen on this.
I would feel that though, but I tend to think that when I'm thinking there's too many cooks in the kitchen and there's too many people fucking with it, you end up getting too much stuff in it. But this was almost, it went in an opposite direction, where it was like all those people putting their hands on it smoothed it out in a very
they cut out all of probably some good stuff, and then they just put in like obligatory studio notes.
Well, if you really look at it, what it seems like is, guys, we're fighting. We're not going to get anything done. You take the first 6th of the movie. I'll take the second. God. You take the third.
And you're going to go on like a random joyride, and we're going to get into a fight. But then
the next
not
scene
really.
He meets
who
his
cares?
Mom. Yeah, exactly. It's totally inconsistent. Probably every 10 to 15.
But even
minutes.
in studio meddling, right? You would think, and we were talking about this when we were leaving, that like,
well, who's the studio? It's Saban. Right?
Sure,
so it's
but
like,
isn't it? Well, who put it out?
Who gives a fuck? Lionsgate?
Lionsgate put it out. Yeah. Fine, but like you would think that the notes that would be coming from higher up are like, these fucking kids are talking a lot.
Yeah. That really should have been somebody's fucking note, dude. Like, we don't get Power Rangers until the last 15 minutes of the movie. Crazy. There's not a single Power Ranger. It's unbelievable.
Now, I will say that when the point hit, whatever, 30, 40 of the longest minutes of my life before they were about to morph for the first time.
Yeah.
And they didn't, I actually didn't have a negative reaction to that. I was kind of like, oh, is that what this movie's about? Is them trying to get on the Power Ranger costumes? Fine.
Sure.
Neat. Like, and I thought that was a neat way to like go about it. But then it was like,
and if the relationships between the kids mattered or was good, that would work. Yeah, that would work totally fine.
And
like
how satisfying.
There was I feel like they had so many like bonding moment scenes installed, but none of them actually bonded the characters.
Sure. And some of the best ones were in the montage, where the best one for me was with Kimberly and Trini in the Krispy Kreme when they're playing with the knight for the fork. Oh, yeah. I'm like, that's the kind of shit we need. Don't have them talk, have them be friends. Yeah.
For that scene.
Oh, man.
Of course they were. I
guess
are we going to get there?
That was some...
I didn't realize that. I thought they were in some random coffee shop, but now I guess that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
And Krispy Kreme, how much of the budget is like footed by Krispy Kreme?
It was the funniest part of the movie, by far, of Rita Repulsa.
That's a great way of product placement, though.
The Zeo Crystal is under a Krispy Kreme, and Rita shows up at the Krispy Kreme and gets a donut and sits down and enjoys it.
Yeah.
As Goldar destroys the thing around her.
I feel like compared to like the product placement of like IHOP and Man of Steel.
Oh God, yeah, that was.
This is way better done. I'm just like, randomly gets punched through IHOP. Here's like, well, it's a plot. It's a part of the story now.
And they're definitely waking and nodding and going like, that's delicious. Like it's a wonderful place to go. It's like really
like, even Rita, while destroying the world or the town, she's like, I'm gonna stop and eat a freaking donut now.
I hope that when it's like, because it gets destroyed, right? Obviously, it gets destroyed in the end of the movie. I hope that then if they do get a sequel, which they might not, but if they do get a sequel, it's like a Burger King now.
Sure.
And they're like, so the Zeo Crystal's it's a Burger King? Yeah, it's a Burger King where they have great burgers and fries and, okay. And then it gets destroyed and then the next movie, it's like a Wendy's or whatever.
Is the entire town like basically gone? No,
yeah, dude.
The destruction wasn't like the amount. It seemed like a small town.
No, Burger King gave us actually the town a lot of money.
Masked Heroes saved the town as like a fucking dinosaur Tyrannosaurus Rex is smashing into every goddamn building.
I know that they kind of skirt over, but when he's in the T-Rex Zord and he's running down the street, they don't really like. It's weird when you can feel a movie's intention of what you're supposed to be looking at, and he's barreling down the street in a monster costume.
I mean, like all the pedestrians happen to like not get squashed, but I'm like,
and they're all
it's like the VFX artist made sure that didn't happen. But
they don't address that moment though. But you can see over his shoulder through the window of the Zord, all these people are like, Jesus Christ! And he's just like, I'm gonna have to shoot the wings.
And also just like I don't buy the characters as heroes. It's like they've really done nothing heroic. They kind of were forced.
Yeah, well, that's right. Great question,
point,
right? Great question. Why, when this again,
They don't feel like helping people. They're just doing it because, like, well, she's gonna destroy our town. I guess, like, that's destiny. We should fight her.
Yeah, but
it's not like we actually
heroes.
are good people trying to help people at all. Like, there's none of that.
Yeah, that's dude. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because that's a big fucking problem. Because you open the movie with this dying alien who's been the protector of the galaxy saying, only choose someone strong enough. And then the stone was like, she cut her hair. That girl. And it's like, fuck, well, yeah, what did they didn't prove anything. They were all kind of not the best. Yeah. Like you could sort of understand it with Jason and Billy because you sort of saw that it was like they were sort of helping each other out and it was like, oh, these are good dudes, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like, I guess the guy's taking care of his mom.
Yeah, but it's like I feel like that's like a common decency to take care of your mom.
Never justify
You would think that they would find in the bare bones. Oh, we need the beat where they all come across these things and they're chosen. You would think that it would have been because they did something to save one of them. Like they all were like none of them knew each other. Billy falls into the hole or whatever. And then all of them try to help him out. And then the things were like, oh, these are the hero. Here's theirs.
Also, I just love like when freaking Billy supposedly dies, like they just drag him onto the aren't there like some CPR things that you do when somebody like was in the water?
Yeah, sure.
And like the only way he comes back to life is literally just like he spits up all the water that was in his like lungs. And I'm like, isn't there like some compression thing you do? They're like, yeah, let's just carry him all the way.
He was also
back
in the water for 20 seconds.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah. Also, how long did it take to like how far was the freaking cave from the water? It probably took walked for like 2 hours. Just like
also like they have help me carry him. You guys have super strength, you know. Like everyone is this. You can pick him up. That's totally fine.
Yeah, we do see later he's holding his dad. He like takes his dad out of the car and he's holding him with no problem.
I wish they did a cooler thing of like showing their superpowers. Like they just had everybody jump over a canyon,
right?
But I'm like,
in a way too long scene.
Yeah, and also like why didn't like Billy wasn't sure if he could jump over, then jump high and see how high you can jump, and then estimate based on that if you can jump over the canyon. They're like, we're not going to do any other testing at all. We're just going to jump over a canyon first, and that's
too smart, dude.
Yeah, it's too much.
I was just like, I'm crazy enough. I'm just going to jump over this canyon. I'm like, just test out how tall.
Yeah, and at that point, it was the third time he was saying like, she's crazy. Well, luckily.
I'm also crazy.
Yeah, looks directly at the camera like I'm crazy.
Here's how you do that scene. You have her jump, you have him jump, and then you have all three of them jump. No more. We don't need I don't know. Each one of them has doubt. And it's just like, this has been a 10-minute scene for something that would take 30 seconds.
Movie. That was every single moment of the movie.
Not much happens.
Billy dying. Yeah, fuck off. Come on. He's dead, yes. If he was, I would have lost my fucking mind.
Yeah, it would have been better.
I would have thought that was insane. But no, we know he's going to come back. They're going to get to the fucking thing. They're going to get on their suits, and the suit's going to like go up his ass and fix his heart. I don't know. Like,
that's 100%.
And so you're just waiting for it. And but the whole movie was that, where you're waiting. We know.
Yes.
We know this is the scene. They're going to get the fucking suits now. Because why? Because they're the saddest they've been.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
and somehow they're magically a team now, and they've earned it.
They say they're all willing to die for each other, and so that's the thing.
But why are they willing to die for each other? I don't there's no motivation.
They really like each other. Yeah. I don't know. They all needed a friend, I guess, was kind of like their
fair enough.
Their connecting factor.
Sure. And I could like buy that sort of. Maybe it was because so much else was stupid. It's again, what happened in this movie? Like. Plot wise, like literal, this happened, what happened?
No, I was thinking that as I was walking out, where I'm like, they trained for an hour and 20 minutes, and then we have the 20-minute finale. Nothing happens.
And
they only have like 11 days or something to train. Right?
Why was it wasn't like Doc Ock making the fucking machine where and now he's got it together, and now he needs the tritium, the precious tritium. Oh, yeah. It was like. We didn't know when. It kind of seemed very arbitrary, where she was like, and now I'm ready to make my gold monster.
Yeah, like when Rita just randomly showed up to Trini's house. And I'm like, wait, they never, like, how does she know who the new people are? And how does she know where this one lives? And she just shows up to her house specifically. Right. And then, like, throws her around her house, but, like, nobody in the house wakes up.
You could easily fix that because...
It's just like, what?
Hollywood logic, making a big budget movie, you should put a big action scene. We were talking about this in the middle. Yeah. Right? So you're going to have your big ending, but you also want something in the middle. That could have easily been that. Establish that Trini has doubt about the whole process.
Yeah.
And have Rita show up.
That at all.
And then they have them fight in a good fight scene and have them, like, you know, go toe to toe, but she gets wrecked. And then they go back. That's pretty much all we needed. But all she did was got thrown around in a completely waste of time scene. Like,
at no point did I think that Trini was going to be like, yeah, I'm going to join you. Like, I'm like, well, first of all, like, I don't think you're going to join the good guys too, because I don't know what you want at all.
Yeah, because she raises stakes at that point.
I was like, are you loyal to the good guys? But why would you betray them too? Because you don't seem to care about anything, really.
Rita says, I will let you go if you tell the Rangers where I am. And it's like, okay.
No, she says,
raises the stake.
I'll let you go.
Don't tell the Rangers where I am, and I'll let you go. And it's like,
what?
Wait,
you just got into my room super easy.
What is?
You could do that to all of us and stab us with your fucking staff.
Yeah, she could have like easily killed. Like, she could have killed all of them so quickly.
This is the thing.
Like, fucking with the narrative logic. Sorry.
No, so like even just as far as her showing up into her bedroom, they make a point of you must not tell anyone your identity. You must keep your identity secret. It's one of the most precious things. You can't tell anyone. So it was like, if there was going to be a thing where then Rita knowing who they are is a big problem, why wasn't that their fault?
Yeah.
Like, why wasn't it that whatever, Trini got, you know, cocky and she kicked ass in school or
and
whatever
got, yeah, that should be,
and then it was like a big...
Rita knows a lot of information that she shouldn't know. Like, there's no narrative justified reason as to why she
doesn't find out anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Why does she know that kid knows where, or Billy knows where the Zeo crystal is? Like, why? And then why is she even asking them about it if she knows he knows? Also, because the only way she would know he knows is if she was spying on him at his house. In which case, it's right there on the fucking wall where it is. So. Look, the narrative
also the whole hiding like their true identity situation. It's like. At the end fight, they all had their masks off. Like, you know, like in the show, like they always have their mask on when they're in the machine.
Yeah.
And then like at some point, like Billy even like waves at the principal, and he's like, "Oh, he can't see me."
Sure.
But I'm like, he probably thought the principal could see him.
Right.
But I'm like, then you just revealed to the principal that you are the freaking Blue Ranger.
Yeah.
So why would you wave at the principal with your mask off? Just because like, you're far enough, you couldn't see you. But like, if you were close enough and you saw into like the window,
Can we talk about the horror movie trailer editing around Rita Repulsa?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was hilarious.
Where she's like cutting around and then
it cuts to the next scene.
Just her really close.
Yeah.
I could see the edges on her makeup, man. And that's the other thing. I was like, it's like confusing with a movie like this when it doesn't look like a big budget movie sometimes. Or like that some things look really cheap. I thought the ship was cool.
I mean, I guess like I was looking at the budget, it's like $100 million, which is still very big, but I guess it's not like...
It's not the, 200, 300 for Spider-Man.
Or, who cares though, dude? Right. This didn't look like a $100 million movie.
But like I've seen better movies with like the Deadpool had...
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so narrative logic was faulty. We've established this.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to touch on is kind of casting where everybody's 30. Like everybody looks super old. Like there's this old costumers trick where you put your actors in graphic tees to make them look young. If you notice, everyone is wearing graphic tees at all times, and it's very distracting. Like you have this big final scene where Jason's like, "You told us we're the Rangers. We're gonna be the heroes," and his shirt says like "Keep out, do not cross," or like it's got or it's like an empty soup can that says like Campbell's on it or something. It's like
he's not a guy who would wear that shirt too. Like the character they developed.
Sure, but they're making a 35-year-old actor try to look young. Kimberly's shirt says like "It was all a dream." Like whole movie.
I love when I guess it was Kimberly. She comes over to Billy at the lunch table and he goes off with her, and then it like cuts to Billy's like dorky friends who we never see. He's got a whole friend group, right?
Yeah.
And they just fuck those guys.
Yeah.
But when he stands up, it like kind of slides over a little bit and reveals one of his friends watching him walk away with Kimberly. And it's just all of a sudden this 35-year-old man, and he's just so like, cool. "Oh wow, he's lucky." Jesus Christ! What's that guy doing? Is that a teacher?
Fired up disease.
It's like the janitor's taking a break, just hanging out.
Fuck. Yeah, I don't know, man.
What's good? Let's talk about positives.
I liked Trini. I think was almost good the most times.
Yeah.
She was the one where I was like, oh,
Jesus Christ, that is the most backhanded compliment.
I know, but it wasn't even her fault because you could feel it, and sometimes it was the writing, and you were like, that's just someone doing what they can with what they got.
Yeah.
But then there's other times where you're like, not only is that a bad line, but you kind of did it like it was a bad line.
Sure.
I don't know. But she came close where she was talking about the stuff with her mom and everything, where I was like, oh, that's someone who maybe given a better monologue, would have done it.
I feel like I dug Billy. I just wish they.
I like Billy as well.
Things like I think I understand the inconsistency with like his autism and stuff. I think like if they just instead of like trying to shoehorn that in and just made him like kind of an awkward guy, but like is a comic relief and pretty funny and cracks jokes, it would have been great. But they kind of had to make him be like, I don't understand humor, but then also crack all the jokes, and you're like. That's
it's because they got to hit their diversity checklist where they're like going down but I guess that's kind of like the Power Rangers thing where it's different kids, different colors, different colored kids.
Like, I'm all for diversity, but you got to earn it. You got to make sense.
I liked how too in the beginning. What was funny when he said he was on the spectrum right in the beginning of it, and because. I guess
color spectrum, damn.
Oh yeah, remember that one part where they're like they all have like the Rangers have to all be different colors, but also different colors. They were like making a joke about race.
I just said.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Were you around for that?
I was looking out the window.
Different color kids, but no. Right before that he says that, I was like, man, Jason's like treating him like he's his little handicapped friend. Like, and just the way it was written was like him being like, Billy, no. Billy, I'm sorry, no, we can't do that or whatever. And I was like, this kind of made me uncomfortable.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it felt weirdly not sensitive. It felt like kind of like, oh, and then...
Condescending.
Yeah, it was condescending, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Positives.
Trini.
Pretty funny.
It seems like we're having a hard time coming up with this.
I had a couple positives because I feel like I liked 30% of this movie. Like, I liked some of the... So obviously my point is that I wish it would either go more camp or go more serious. Just like pick one. But I liked some of the writing. I'm wondering how much of that is Landis's script, kind of like around the fringes. Like, because some of the lines, I'm like, that's too clever for this movie. I'm trying to think of one off the very top of my head.
I had no
I guess Billy's mom, where I'm just like, that's weird. And like this whole town is kind of offbeat. And I'm like, I dig that. And then it's not for like most of the movie.
Yeah.
They kind of introduce it that like, oh, this is the kind of town where you just bring a cow into like a high school as a prank. And
I thought like the one that you pointed out, the one where like Trini like seemingly is able to beat up Rita a little bit in her room, and then Rita's like, "Oh no, you're hurting me," and then she's like, "Ha, just kidding."
Yeah. Oh, that was
that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I'm just messing with you.
I'm just kidding.
It's like that's a great moment, but that entire scene is pointless. So that's why it just doesn't.
It's a terrible moment. That's why it's so like.
But like it's just so like over the top. Like that's something that like if the movie was always like that, I would have been like, yeah, that's if it's on purpose.
Funny. Yeah.
But the thing I feel like it was on purpose to try to do some just wacky thing.
Yeah. I didn't even like the mecha design. I mean, I'm a fucking weeb. I love that, the bullshit Super Sentai, giant robots. Punching.
But we've seen some really good ones. So that's the thing.
Yeah, and I kind of wish they would go more Pacific Rim, which I didn't love, but like more of a robot instead of like a bio-organic thing.
Also, we didn't see like the real combining into a Megazord. Yeah, it was just like, they're all in like the weird lava pit, and then they come out as Megazord. And I'm like, that's true. How did you guys attach and like click in together and whatever? Well, that's my favorite parts of like the original shows is that you see like the dinosaur, morph and
and they all like slide into the fucking main base. And in what fucking universe do you not play the Go-Go Power Rangers theme when they're morphing together? Right. Yes. And my bigger issue with that is that like the individual pieces looked like robots. They looked very mech. And then when they formed together, it looked like a weird bio-organic kind of thing. Like, it's the same thing with Alpha 5, where I'm like, I don't like how this looks. Like, he can't emote. He just looks funny.
No.
So let's play the game, too, where it was like, there were these echoes of the themes and of the stuff that could have been strong. And that overall, I think why I'm having such a hard time with this and why I feel maybe more negative about this than other stuff that disappointed me is like, it's that thing where it was all face value. So even you're saying like the town was quirky. I didn't ever really feel that. I never felt like we were spending time with the town. I felt like it was
there was
like
a hint
10
of
minutes.
It, and then they kind of didn't gave up.
Yeah, it's that weird thing, and I can see how you write yourself into that corner where it's like, They were never like just walking on Main Street. And I know that sounds stupid, but it was like we never just kind of saw them in town and got a feel for
absolutely make people, us hate the town too. Like the way these kids also hate the town.
The thing and again, this is very strong. The kid's the football star. He fucks up. So they can't hear the table.
It's okay.
He fucks up. And then this whole town turns on him because he was their golden boy. And then there's like this weird, like, well, fuck you all. Like,
sure.
I don't exist for you. And that's all that's in there, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's sometimes baffling when that stuff doesn't actually work. And it was kind of what we were talking about with Space Between Us, where it's like when someone is watching this and they can connect the dots and they don't have a hard time sort of just going like, yeah, wow, that would suck. And then their empathy clicks right in, and then they're on board.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, bless your heart. That's great and all. But for me, it just was like, it was so hollow. It was saying stuff and not doing it. It was saying, oh, the town is judging me. Like,
and then the things that the movie chose to do just seemed like time filler. It's like, that's not appropriate for this movie.
Yeah, the
like,
jumping. Why do we need 5 minutes of how far they can jump?
The pit training sequence went on for far too long. It's just, we get it. They're going to learn martial arts. That's cool. Or even like have them when they become rangers, they can suddenly do martial arts.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's a part of their power. Yeah. Cool.
Fine. We don't need to watch it happen.
You know, and other small kind of nerdy stuff. So this is looking at this from like merchandising. Why not give them all a weapon? I don't understand. Like you have the Red Ranger come out with a sword, and I'm like, that's fucking sick. Because it was like Proto Man from Battle Network.
How did he decide? Like he didn't know that.
Right.
It was just like,
came out.
Yeah, I guess they have a sword now. And nobody's looked at that and was like, oh wait, he can get a sword. I can probably create some other weapon out of my hand too.
Exactly.
And they didn't do it.
Because in the show, everyone so Black Ranger has an axe.
No, it's just like at one
Trini
point
has
they're like
twin daggers. Billy has trident, and Kimberly has the bow. And all we got was the sword, which is like that's a nerd nitpick.
He also,
that's fair. Why not?
He returns the sword to Zordon at some point.
Yeah, what
at
the
end,
fuck
I was
is that?
like, what the? He comes into the ship and puts the sword down. I'm like, it's yours, dude. Like, why are you giving it? Also, why didn't that like disappear with the armor?
You can keep that, Yeah, we'll need it later. So let's just hang on to it, dude. Hang on to it.
You created it out of your suit. Like,
I don't have a shin anymore.
Returning the coin, but I don't think it was clear because like Rita's weapon was
no one
the
else
thing.
The coin.
Rita's weapon was the staff, which the coin slots into. So I'm thinking that the coin slots into the sword at some point. We just didn't see that.
But none of the other characters did they also return their coins?
I don't know. Who cares?
What?
The white guy's the only one who matters.
Oh my god.
It's, narrative logic. You need to follow your own rules. You need to set up your rules and then follow them, and you can do literally anything you want in your movie.
Bored.
It really is. It's if the one thing the Power Rangers movie had to not be was boring. And they fucked that up.
It should have been just pure entertainment, over the top, like silliness. And
it's a weird decision. Again, the only moment when I was like, fuck yeah, is when the Zords are running across the field and the old theme is playing, and I'm like, this is what I'm here for. That's why
everybody wanted to go.
That's what this ticket is for, yes.
And that,
But you know what's hilarious? Like, I overheard kids like telling their parents that this is their favorite movie.
Yeah, I heard that too.
You probably heard that like the same time. We're just walking out, it's like, that's my favorite movie of all time. And I'm like,
kid is like 4.
The fighting wasn't even cool.
Yeah, but I don't
fights the like Rangers flipping around wasn't.
If I was like 8, I don't know why I would, but I would love this movie. Like, I don't know
because this movie is the first hour of a video game where you're figuring all your shit out, and then it starts you off in the tutorial where you have all your powers and you get to play, and you're like, wow, is that how strong I'm gonna be? And then they take it all away, and then you get it again, and that whole time you're just like you're just firing off neurons because you're getting stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
So now they can do jump flips.
I think it's also that old bit of kids like what they think teenagers are like. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you have Billy almost saying the S word a couple times, where that's gonna get a laugh from the kids. It's a very old style of movie.
When he said yippee-ki-yay, mother, and then stopped.
And then mother's
good.
fine.
Why didn't he want to curse?
It's PG movie.
Yeah,
that's the only reason.
Besides the PG movie thing. Oh, okay.
Oh, because autism and you can't curse when you have that.
Yeah, it's
sure right.
You're not allowed. That's the rules.
That's how
the League of Autistic People laid that down in a referendum 3 years ago.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Movies.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I felt like I had more. I felt more negative about this than I have for one of these ones that we've watched in a while.
Yeah, like maybe even more than Space Between Us and them.
Conceptually, I think it's a neat idea to make a Power Rangers movie about them not able to be the Power Rangers yet.
Sure.
And they're trying. I love it's a superhero origin movie. And they say superheroes 100 fucking times in it. He says Iron Man and Spider-Man. Eat your own foot.
But I think it would be neat, but I feel like just because the inherent nature of being a blockbuster movie, like unless they made like a $20 million version of this.
But see, there's no excuse anymore though, man, because even us getting, like, I don't know, we get the Marvel movies, the general blockbuster vibe, I feel like has been lifted a little bit. We've seen so many successful, Ant-Man was a silly sci-fi, like, dude getting powers and figuring them out, and it's very funny.
But the action sequences are like super inventive in it. It doesn't seem redundant because you've never seen that type of fight before.
So what I'm saying is why, and we haven't really seen
we've seen good mech fights,
but hyper stylized kung fu superhero fight where it's all sparks coming out of every hit and blah blah blah. Dude. Like that's what power. See, this is why it's maybe more annoying is because there wasn't anything to dig here. You didn't need to fucking farm Power Rangers to figure out what to make this movie about.
Right.
You literally look at the VHS cover and you're like sick.
Like
that's true. What it is. You need 5 teens jumping off a building in Los Angeles.
Like I'm so on board for this to be just like a full-on just martial arts movie. It's like longer takes and things like those guys are in costumes and it's a visual effects, so you actually it's like you don't need the actual actor. Just have a really good stuntman do some crazy ass fights.
Every once in a while they were, but then that big final fight where they're fighting the putties, they were CGI. Dude, and I was like, in why?
Why? In this better question for you, the first time they get their suits on, the whole movie's about we want the costumes. They finally get them. And the first time we see them all fight together is under fucking water.
Yep.
Why?
Yeah.
Why was that the first time we're watching the Power Rangers fight together?
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Swimming.
Because, I mean, that's another video game trope where it's like nobody ever wants to do anything in water. Like, it's not... That's a scene that we show later on. Like, give them the powers earlier in the movie and then give us that for some variety. There's no reason for that to be the foot in the door.
I'm not a Power Rangers, expert. I haven't seen every episode. I don't know all the lore. I don't know everybody's names.
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
When you watch 2 episodes of that back to back, you could go away and say, okay, well, at least I know what the action scenes are supposed to look like.
We were just watching Ninja Steel, which is the latest series. It looks better. It's
so colorful.
Exactly.
The designs are simpler, just straightforward. The visual effects is cartoony, but that's kind of the point.
Yeah, exactly. And this isn't me being because it's annoying when people do the thing where it's the same thing when books get turned into movies and everything. It can't be the thing. It's not going to be the TV show. It's not gonna.
Right.
It's going to have to do things that are a little harder. And you know what? Again,
get ready to deal with a lot of disappointed Chips fans in the next couple months. It's just not a good.
Give it credit for trying to make us care about all these people and trying to make it no, this is a real place in California. Fine, sure, but it was that one foot in the door on both sides. It was,
Yeah.
You can't do both. You can't do both of those things to the extreme that they did them. There was a happy middle where the fights are bonkers and we care about these people, but it's not.
The perfect movie would I feel like I don't think tone and consistency is necessarily dooms a movie. If a movie can walk the fine line super well, then that's the best movie ever. But because it's typically super, super difficult, that's why. It's if it was super campy, but you also really care about the characters, that's the perfect situation to be in. But it's hard to do.
With Scrubs, right? So we talk about this with Scrubs a lot as just a weird example to always use. But they spend so much time being goofy and irreverent that when something sad happens, you're like, fuck.
Oh, yeah, it hits hard.
I love these people.
Yeah. It hits hard. The arc where Dr. Cox loses those patients to rabies or whatever, because that was just... I remember that was the first time I've ever cried at television. Yeah, was man. That season 3 of Scrubs, and being 13 years old.
What were we talking about where it was don't kill the clown? What was that? What was the movie? We just saw something recently. I don't remember what the hell it was, but where it's when everybody's funny, when you like these people because they make you feel good to be around and listen to how they talk, and then you see something really sad happen to one of them, that's a kind of easy, oh, we care.
Yeah, sure.
We don't like when Rita steals Billy and is holding him underwater and we're watching him drown.
Right.
Yeah. And you're like, oh shit, this is real. And that's the other thing. This is the thing, teenagers becoming superheroes thing. I've still never seen it. Even in Spider-Man, as much as I'll always say that I love it, I have never seen the thing where they're like, no, dude, this fucking blows. this is scary as shit.
Yeah.
This guy, this fucking scary space alien lady is coming and dunking you underwater.
Until now, Hero short film coming soon.
I'm just saying this is it's like with this kind of stuff.
Guys, go to youtube.com/Dominic Fear. Check out Hero. And fulfill your.
I feel that. But you know what? That's cool.
But you're correct though. Like you are actually the first person to like tackle that subject.
Yeah, it's like that's the theme I want to say, so I'm going to make a thing with that theme.
Yeah, and that's great. Like you're a film. You're not just like some random film critic who's talking about movies.
Yeah,
and we all
dick.
love you.
Big dick. Yeah, I know. I get it. I understand. I'm just saying. I don't know. It's missed opportunities, and that's always why we're disappointed.
But that's it's perfect for you to come in though. Like that's like because people have been missing. Like things like if they've already done. If Power Rangers killed it on that front, it's like what's the point of Hero now? Like. You know, it's like
how is this?
Like,
I would be so lucky, dude. If the Power Rangers fucked up my thing, I'd be like, all right, well, you know.
How's this doing financially? Anybody see any figures come out?
I just know that it was projected for like 30 to 60 or something.
I don't know, because like
I feel like it's gonna do.
Those seats were filled last night.
They were filled to the rim. Like it's gonna make so much money internationally for sure.
I don't know about that, dude, because like usually international is like all about spectacle. I don't think this had enough spectacle to pop off international.
No, it definitely didn't. It definitely did not. There's too much.
But
this isn't like Battleship or Transformers.
Is a big thing in China. Like China saved some. Like China freaking saved XXX. Like that movie made like 150 million.
And Transformers. We were talking about this a couple months ago. How they just really do well at the Chinese box office for whatever reason.
Let's see, let me check the box office mojo.
Yeah, the estimate for Friday was 14 million, 15 million basically.
So, 38 million.
It might clear that. It'll clear budget, but I don't know if we'll see a sequel.
I mean, the budget also like it wasn't like a super high budget blockbuster, so I think it'll at least break even. It'll probably be fine.
True. And we were kind of talking about this a couple of weeks ago about Speed Racer. Like me and Nick were watching Speed Racer and how it's not an adaptation of like Go-Go Mach 5 or Go-Go Mach, whatever the fuck the original show is called. It's like, it's not even an adaptation of the show. It's an adaptation of the American interpretation of what we think of as Speed Racer. Sure. Which is the Mary Shelley thing we were talking about a couple months ago. And if that's kind of what this was, I would be more on board with that. Like the more flamboyant Japanese shit that was not explained in the show of them like posing and going, whoa, whoa, like
them passing the notes.
Give me more of that. Yes.
Them passing. It was even the same thing with what you're saying, where they were fighting over the piece of donut. Like those really choppy, like. You're like, oh, that's kind of neat, right? Sure. And again, that's easy. It fires off shit in your brain. You're like, cool.
Like I wish they like did the throwing the note thing like in an action scene. Like they were like throwing some of a weapon. They're like sharing a weapon.
Oh my god!
Pass a sword over to some dude.
What the fuck, man? I hate you.
Why didn't they finally get her fucking gemstone and do the thing they were doing with the note, passing the note around?
Stop it.
There's so many ways this movie could have been like better, and it's just.
And again, I always
there are 50 directions it could have gone in, and
we're in the easy chair. We're sitting. We're watching it done. We're not tangled up in the fucking 2 years.
Guys, let's make our own Power Ranger movie.
I'm usually on board with when you open with easy chair, but with this one, this is like just take a look at the script and see there's no Power Rangers until the last 10 minutes of the movie. And if you're a studio exec with sense, you'll go, we need the Power Rangers to be in this earlier. What the fuck?
Low standards for like enjoying a movie. Like even for this one, like from an enjoyment standpoint, I didn't hate it watching it.
Sure.
But like this is a movie where like for me, who's not even that experienced of a writer, who's only recently trying to spend more time writing, I'm like, if I give this another pass as a writer, like I feel like I could have improved it a decent amount.
So our buddy Max Carpson likes to take bad movies and recut them. He did that with Batman vs Superman. It was pretty good. So I'm wondering.
I didn't watch it.
I would like to see him. I saw the clips of it when they had the DVD here, right? He had the DVD.
I think he did Man of Steel. You're thinking of.
Yeah, Man of Steel, whatever. But I kind of want to see them do that with. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like I mean. Most movies can be cut around and made better, I feel.
I'm actually, I'm not sure.
I want to talk about it. I feel like he might get mad if I talk about it. But like, just he opens up his Man of Steel cut with Superman screaming from the scene from after he's killed Zod.
Yeah. And it's like, and
it
record
starts
scratch
that way.
And be like, how did I end up here?
No, but actually, that's really smart because it starts in this place where you're like, oh, is that what we're heading towards? What the hell's that? Why was he that desperate?
That's pretty cool.
And then we catch up. And then, so maybe then when that happens, you weren't as offended that Superman snaps someone's neck.
Right.
Because you're kind of like, we were waiting to get there. I don't know.
This guy's also the artist. He does the cow. Dom, the cow.
Yeah, our mascot, Dom, the cow.
Thank you, Twitter poll.
Yeah, Max is great. Facebook.com/Max is drawing.
Yeah, he's good. What's the time? We got 44 minutes.
God.
Fuck, man. I don't know. It's hard to talk about the ones that we just
didn't like. I know.
I'll talk about Super Sentai for a while. started in 1976.
I can go back to my life story. So I was born in Boston in 1993, August 29th.
This is what was wrong with the movie. This is what was wrong with the movie. They didn't know what the next plot point was, and then they were like, all right,
we're going to do a positive round table. We're going to do an absolute negative round table. We're going to do a final thoughts round table. Okay. And then we are going to do the three-headed critic.
Three-headed
I hated the fucking Zords, dude.
All right, you said positive.
Cooler. Okay. Some of the writing was pretty clever. The actor who played Billy, unfortunately, I don't know him. He's funny. He's talented. I really wish.
I feel like he's going to be a fan favorite out of this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though I had problems with him, I feel like he's going to be the most liked by the general audience.
Yeah, but that's not even shocking because he
was written that way. He was supposed to. He was written as the favorite.
Part of me wants to see a sequel to this. I really do, because I want to see him give it another shot with a little bit more money and see how they handle it. I wish they would cast younger.
I mean, they're supposed to. They want to make 6 or 7 movies.
I know.
They have
yeah, he said they have like 6 movies. This is if what this ends up being. If this gives us an amazing Spider-Man 2, where it's like I still see the movie and I'm like, wow, that was like super flawed, but so much of it at the heart of it, I'm like, wow, that's
just like we were done with the origin, which is nice.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
man.
And just like the next movie, like they can't not be like. There's no reason for them to not be in the costume.
If they get depowered at the start of the next movie,
they're like, oh no,
walk out of the fucking theater.
It's like our friendship is hurt, so we can't morph anymore.
Right.
And at the end of the movie, like we're morphing again. Then oh my god.
No, you make the next movie just a cosmic level threat that they need to use their strongest, biggest weapons to battle. That's the movie I want to see. And I didn't hate all of the casting. I wish they cast younger, to be perfectly honest. Like, I wish I would have seen some 14, 15-year-old actors in this and actually make them teenagers, like, growing up. So we could kind of see... Oh, it'd be more interesting
like
if they do have... Thing? Yes, if they do have a 6-movie plan to see them grow into, like, the Rangers. Like, the big, strong fucking...
Dude, we would be so lucky to be like 4 movies deep and look back at the first one and be like, wow, that started in a dark fucking place. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? I always wish that.
Can you think of another one? I suppose Terminator, but I mean, there's value in the first Terminator, but it's just like, not a great movie.
Fast and Furious. Like,
yeah, okay.
Sure.
Because I haven't seen the first 4 of those movies, but I started with the 5th one and I was like, oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I watched the next couple, I was like, this is just like over the top insane action. I know the story's shit, but like, it's so fun.
That's what most people tell
And that's what I'm hoping, like, if like the next 3 Power Rangers are just like are kind of like Fast and Furious style, I'm like, I'm so down.
If the property can keep making enough money to stay alive long enough, eventually it may end up in the right hands.
And Dwayne The Rock Johnson comes in and fixes the franchise.
This is the whole thing,
we're very, and I agree with you, but I it's funny because like, is this the problem? We're very forgiving. We see this and we're like, fuck, dude, I just want a Power Rangers movie to be good, so you like want to give them another chance, and then you're like, oh, I hope it makes enough money that they make another one. But then like these, I don't know, man. How many times have you been like disappointed? These, you know, they get another shot and they fucking let you down again. Well, you know, it's like,
I feel like the issue with Hollywood is not that they make bad movies, is that they don't learn lessons well anymore.
Right. And
where it's kind of, you know,
if this makes its money, they're going to be like, well, we did it right.
Exactly. And it's the Wonder Woman thing where Wonder Woman doesn't go well, they'll blame it on that. And it's, we talk about this a lot where they'll think in circles. Like a lot of times studios will think in circles about like, why didn't this movie succeed? And it's just like right in front of you, it's a bad movie.
Do you want to know what Ryan Blewett said yesterday walking across the street to the bar?
What's that?
He says, we're talking about Power Rangers, and we were like, and I brought up the thing of like, how did this conversation start where we go from, because I was like, because I like Power Rangers. That movie it's not for me. It doesn't look like it's for me.
Yeah.
I don't think they made that for me.
I probably wouldn't have watched it unless for this podcast.
He says,
I hate you guys for forcing me to watch it.
No, dude, I wouldn't have gone at all. And then, but Ryan looks at me and he goes, man, boardrooms in Burbank are soundproof. And I was like, ooh, fuck. I was like, right, he's right. These people, they don't hear it. It happens in the room. They get pieces of information written on paper or on computers, and that's it. But there's no voices coming in. There's no real, like, you know, on the pulse hearing the people who are the actual fans of the thing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Cut to earlier in the day, Ryan's like murdering someone in a boardroom. Yeah, right. No one comes. He's like, wow, you know, boardrooms in Burbank.
But also, I always keep in mind that, like, it's like, who's really a Power Rangers fan? Like, if they probably were listening to like the fans,
us,
because
man.
we're not fans.
I was a fan.
There's Power Rangers fans.
No, I was excited. Like,
you mean like people who watch it right now?
We would be bandwagon fans if this movie was good. Like, we wouldn't be like actual hardcore fans.
No, but I was.
But this movie, who it should have been made for was people who have like vague echoes. Like as walking out of the theater, it's important to listen to the conversations because one woman said like, "No, I used to watch it. Like Jonathan used to watch it, and I used to watch it with him, and I remember the characters." Where it's like that is who this movie is for. Where people who
like
vaguely remember
and
Power
maybe
Rangers,
their parents,
yes, who vaguely remember it from when they were kids, and. When you don't capture the spirit of what made the original great, that is to say, an absolutely fucking batshit bonkers Japanese ridiculous superhero show, what the fuck are you even making the movie for? What are you doing?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Great question. That's why it's confusing. And I was obsessed with I loved Power Rangers.
Yeah,
I had a whole phase where that was my thing. That was the thing those were the toys I was getting. That was the DVD that was in every day.
That's true. But I feel like that's because like. I don't know, like little boys like to play with like action figure toys, and those are the coolest ones.
Sure, they were cool. I mean, they were cool costumes.
I mean, I wouldn't say like we were old enough when we were fans to like really know story or characters well enough.
They're bright, colorful. Yeah. They have superpowers, and they have dinosaur robot pets.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's every kid. Every kid wants that.
And exactly. So then, how do you fuck that up? And that's why I'm saying it's almost more offensive in this because it's like it wasn't rocket science. There wasn't a big equation to put together here.
It's funny because when I think about it, so when I was a kid, I was always attracted to Japanese aesthetic. Like I just for whatever reason, it just always picked a little thing in my head, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Right,
like that's
like
really
Japanese
cool.
Girls or something.
Yeah, no,
I may as well just
the aesthetic,
the
aesthetic. But for whatever it lost its way. You know what I mean? I don't want this to be a weeb movie. I don't want this to be like, honoring its source material like to the T. But give me something that shows that like you recognize where the influence comes from and what made this decent. And I feel like Pacific Rim does a bit. I didn't love Pacific Rim, but they definitely do a bit of that where it's like they're kind of honoring the kaiju.
And like Pacific Rim does the action so well, in my opinion. Like I any problems I have with the story, but like just the fights are great. Like
that's why we have such a hard time.
The fights are so much better than Power Rangers.
The CW
and they had so many too.
Yeah. If the CW drama in this stayed exactly the same, but in between it there was dope kung fu bouncing around.
There were like 3 to 4 really dope.
I'd be like, fine, man.
Mech fights. I would have liked the movie a lot more.
See a little bit of mecha.
Because like if I were to analyze like Furious 7 or something, I'm just like a story,
right?
But like it had so many great set pieces that I'm just like, okay, like that's the point I'm watching it. This one like it just had one big action set piece and that was it. Like,
I'm maybe realizing too that this is boiling down to the thing, and maybe the what's his name, Damien.
Giselle?
No.
Directed
what is it?
Follow up to La La
Power
Land.
Rangers. Dude, if they got him to direct the sequel to Power Rangers,
I bet he'd be good. I bet he would fucking figure it out.
Whip pans from like Goldard.
Yeah.
That's true.
Billy on the drum.
Things like I want the John Wick guys to direct.
Not my Zeo Crystal.
Dude. Sorry. I don't know. And like I was saying, they maybe would take offense to this, but it doesn't feel like this was made by someone who loves it. And it doesn't feel like it was written by someone who loves it, who loves Power Rangers. It feels like someone who was trying to write a young adult novel movie where it was these misfit kids end up getting superpowers. And like, I wouldn't have minded if this felt like a very, very modern superhero movie. Sure. If it felt like this is a 2017, this is what you do in a story about teenagers who find super suits. The movie has to kind of feel like this. Fine, dude, but like it doesn't excuse it then being also bad.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, positives.
I
gave my positives.
My positives again. I think a lot of conceptually what they were said. Like I said, them not having the suits. That's a cool like device for your Power Rangers movie. Was that it's like we want to see.
Also, they could have.
I was surprised that was what it was about. Yeah. I was surprised that it was all leading.
They could have had amazing action sequences without suits. Like
absolutely,
they could have done like some crazy karate martial arts stuff like without suits, and they just didn't have that.
They didn't really do that. Yeah, not at all. So I like that. I liked the opening. I liked that what the opening did was carry through this like, this is a cosmically important mantle to take up. Sick.
I just want to put a note there is that's a holdover from the show as well. There was a lot of action scenes without the suit in the show.
Yeah,
like that was the whole thing. They without the suits, they get their ass beat. They put the suits on. They do better. They get their ass beat. Then they call the Zord, and then they win.
Yeah,
that's just like how that happens.
Every episode's format.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the format.
Again, it's hard for me to see positives.
It was positively a bad movie.
I liked the things they were hinting at. I liked. Fuck.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know, man.
I liked.
Guys, the Pink Ranger was cute, right? That's a positive.
Yeah, fucking
That's
positive.
You think she was
whatever.
cute?
I don't know. But
I'm literally just like throwing whatever. I'm like,
everybody's bad.
guys, like Bryan Cranston was hot, right? Yeah.
Right?
She looks kind of like Amy Jo Johnson, to be honest. Like the first time I looked at her when she cut her hair, I'm like,
that's the original.
Also, dude,
yeah. And so when she shows it, when they show up at the end and they're taking pictures on their phone, that's the Pink Ranger and the Green Ranger. I don't know if you.
And also, wait. So the whole thing with Kimberly's like what did she do? She sent a naked.
Oh yes.
Was it a naked photo? They never specified
that way.
Yeah, that's so.
And they had to show that photo to the dad too. Oh
Yes,
my god, that's
they go
messed
through,
up.
oh my god!
Like you don't need to show it to the dad.
No. But
why show it to the dad?
Regardless of the reality of getting in trouble for showing a naked picture to some, like, that would happen, right? That you would get in the principal's office and you'd have that fucking sad moment with the parents where it's like, this is your daughter.
Right.
Ew. Why the sweet fucking shit was that in this movie, man?
I have no idea.
Why was that a thing?
It's
Also,
like
I
a
love how,
relatable teen
like,
thing.
you remember in the beginning of the bathroom scene where, like, they had to make it so on the nose that, like, we're ripping you out of the friend group
I know,
by,
what
like,
the
cutting the thing and
year was this
stabbing
for?
it.
No, so I'm going to defend that girl because Kimberly should feel bad.
Oh, yeah,
It's
absolutely.
a terrible, awful thing to do to somebody. And then, like, at the end, she's flying in her sword and knocks something off. It smashes the girl's car. And she goes, you had it coming. It's like, why? Because you violated
a
her
shithead.
sexually?
Yeah, 'cause you're a
Because you're a
bully?
sexual predator who's sharing pictures of a 16-year-old girl with people? Fuck you.
Yeah, and here's the thing. As a device for a character, as a thing that leads a character to an interesting place, not the worst starting point. And
no,
there's some merit in maybe the kids who are going to go see this movie, that being a thing, right? But it's like
Because you did a terrible thing, you're not a terrible
I don't think
person. That's
Power
the point
Rangers
theme.
is the time to do the
Sure.
I shared a naked photo of my friend. However, why did that? I mean, it doesn't even really get dealt with. It literally, like, she says that to Jason, and he goes like, "Hey,
So what?
hey, who gives a shit?"
It's like, you screwed up, but you're still a good person, even though you've done nothing to prove that.
I do kind of get that where it's just like, do you not understand that the world is going to end?
Fine, right. In the face of that, cool, but why even bring that up?
Sure.
Why even make that
Positives,
a thing?
Cameron.
Positives. I feel bad. I feel guilty when I
didn't,
feel
like,
this way about
absolutely
something.
hate it.
Okay.
Sick.
Positive.
Give me a specific positive. If Dean Israelite was in here right now, so what'd you think?
I dug Billy's jokes. I guess that's
Good, that's fine.
I think there was like a solid draft in there at some point that got fucked up. Like, I think Max Landis probably wrote not a terrible version of this movie.
Can I just
It's out there.
Can
It's
I
out
just
on the
say?
internet. You can read
yeah,
it.
it's on the internet. I'm just gonna say I don't want to keep giving and this.
Max Landis credit?
I'm not shitting on him specific, but like I don't. That's not how this works. Like he submitted a script that they didn't want. That was like it was probably one of those situations where he was up. I don't know that for sure, but
I think he has writing credit, bud. I think he has writing credit as one of the drafts.
And also because like he has name recognition, they want that writing credit. Like they want to be like, well, we have a good writer on this sort of,
But even
or
still,
a decent writer.
He has come out and said like there's some themes that carry over.
Sure, okay,
but
fine,
like
fine.
overall, this is a remarkably different movie than what I wrote, and it's like okay, sure.
Yeah. I mean, like I know Max Landis is like a
I'm just saying I don't want to give him like that the shining light of the movie was the previous Max Landis.
No, but like
Yeah,
Tim
like,
asked me to say something positive, so I was just trying to like come up with something that was
Max Landis
remotely
is great.
Like,
You all right, man?
Knocked it over.
it's like I mean, things Max Landis has done some good stuff
Yeah, no,
and some stuff, but like
sure.
Yeah, he's not credited on it.
He's not.
No,
the heck? Probably on IMDb, just not on like Wikipedia or something.
I'm on IMDb.
It seems
What
like
the hell?
the chaos magic where I just say something very confidently and that makes it true is not working today.
didn't work right there.
Guys, no, we're
gonna do
I
acting.
had a really bad joke, and then I was just
I'm
stopped
gonna die.
myself.
Here's a positive. When they released the suits, I'm gonna take you on a journey here because when they first put out the picture, everybody was kind of up in arms about it, and I was sort of like, why? What did you expect they were going to look like? Because to me, when they released that picture, I was like, that's what 2017 Power Rangers movie suits look like.
Right.
That's what we're going to get. Then I started seeing like trailers or other promotional things, and I was like, wow, they're really ugly.
Yeah, they're very.
Ryan said, Ryan made some good points yesterday too. Where he said like, it's that hyper detail thing where when there's so much detail, you don't have any
It needs
detail.
to be streamlined a little bit.
Well, yeah, exactly. And
Well, for me, it's the blue. There's too much blue in every costume, and it doesn't work. Like blue
Sure,
doesn't
yeah.
vibe with every
And
color.
also, like, because it's so complicated, they have to do visual effects for like whenever they fight.
Some of it was real, right? The suits were definitely physical suits sometimes, right?
Oh no, but like they're so complicated that the actors sometimes can't really fight in them, so they need to like use CG. Like they probably have like some type
Iron
of
Man
dusting things on.
Even the Iron Man thing is like that suit extrema. It's like that's a crisp.
Right.
Yeah, but also like I would argue that Iron Man for me has some of like the not most exciting fight scenes in.
I agree.
Yeah, it's like I love the freaking Black Panther or like Captain America fight scenes because they're like hand to hand.
Well, you know how they fix that, right? They design a suit that the actors can move in.
Yeah.
And then you don't do the big fucking huge bulky space beetle or whatever the fuck it is.
It's like because like the martial arts in the like the original show, like it's cool.
Their suits are just like this. They look like Green Man that they like painted
Maybe
different
put some
colors
dots on it if you want to add some like extra embellishment in post.
Dots.
Yeah, it's like you know.
Oh yeah.
Like the motion tracking
just like,
dots.
put a couple dots and stripes on the suit. It'll look real nice.
Just dress up as like in cow costumes and just have like polka dots.
But anyway, so then I was against it, and then in the movie, once they had the suits on again, I kind of came around and I was like, that actually looks kind of cool.
I feel like I like it just because they're in suits, but like that's cool, but like that's about it. Like I don't know. They're not the best suits.
Maybe they just held off for so long in the movie that when they were finally in the Power Ranger costume,
Yes,
I was like,
anything.
fuck,
Finally, they've aged me for so long. I will take literally anything.
Seriously, man. And this, for what it's worth, this is kind of a positive. It's maybe a little backhanded, but every time a Power Rangers thing was introduced, I got excited again.
Sure.
So it was like, as soon as they were down and I knew they were in the ship and it was like, oh, they're going to maybe get the suits now. Or like, you know, they meet Alpha or whatever. Like, I would get excited again for like a little, I'd have a little fucking flutter in my soul where I was like, oh, right, I like Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And then they would make me forget that I liked Power Rangers.
Absolutely.
So.
Final thoughts. Cam, go first. I'll go to Dom and me.
Oh, what? That's a lot of pressure. Okay.
It's succinctly.
There are so many ways this movie could have been better. There's so many like different options that it could have taken to just improve it, and it could have gone the full-on popcorn movie, crazy action set pieces, fun time. It could have gone more serious, more dramatic, actually make you care about the characters. It could have done both if it could walk the fine line. So just very disappointed, and I'm sad I had to see it. And screw you guys. See it. I had to pay money and watch this. I didn't hate it completely. It was fine.
I do want to put it addendum and say you can make that criticism about a lot of movies where like there's a lot of options you could have done, but the problem with this is that it didn't do any of them.
Yeah.
Where it just kind of stayed in that neutral ground and never went anywhere.
I was just thinking that when you were saying that, it was like, well, it wasn't so much disappointing that it didn't follow its cues.
Like it wasn't like one of those movies that like it's like you just know it made one drastic bad decision and it just stuck to it.
It's just so
then you're like, oh, you got to do that. You got to not do that. But this one, I'm just like, you just were like middle of the road the entire time.
It was very middle.
So
if
you just took a detour in one direction, it would have been fine.
It was a Hollywood ass 6 people wrote this teen action movie, and sometimes that rules. Most times that does not rule. Yeah. I guess that's my final thought.
It just, the 6 writer, whatever it is, whatever made it numb, it was numb. It was like, then you get lines. We've seen, you can only do this story so many ways, and we've seen it before. And honestly, if we had gotten a fairly okay version of this story where it was like very familiar, we knew the beats of it, but it was like it executed it fine, you wouldn't really have been bored. Mm-hmm. But like I think when there was so much, if it was the meddling or whatever it was, either way, again, it got smoothed out, and you get these lines where it's like maybe you have the scene where they're all gonna break, like they all are kind of mad at each other and they're gonna fight each other. Like we've seen that, we knew that we know that's coming, but it just ends up being the most like beat sheet version of it. It read like the first draft. It read the like, okay, so I know that at this point is where Kimberly reveals her story to Jason. Blah, blah, blah. I'm a bad person. And then they left that. That was then what they actually went and shot. It didn't never get to the thing where they were maybe questioning and like, how do we sort of subvert that a little bit? Or what's a more interesting way that she can say that? Or even like work with the actors, like just let them sort of improv a little more. Like even if it was the same, every scene was exactly the same, but maybe the dialogue was allowed to be a little more loosey-goosey. You wouldn't have felt as weird about it.
And also they've like Saban has done like 24 versions of basically the same story. Right. Yeah. Essentially.
Yeah.
But like what would how many seasons have you seen, Tim?
Probably about 10. Probably watched about 10 of them.
What would be your favorite season?
My favorite Power Rangers
like the one that you think it's like that's like was there at any point where you're like this is a great story, like this is actually a step above the standard
I wasn't old enough to even have that kind of like
Yeah, no,
like, was there
never
like
quite
any standout?
They kind of get into it in the late 90s when they start going into space with Lost Galaxy and then like Lightspeed Rescue. It starts to get like a little more high concept. Then they sort of bring it back with like Time Force. I can't believe I was going to say they bring it back with Time Force.
I do feel like there's definitely pressure on the executive to be like, we did 24 versions of the same story. Let's just stick to the status quo somewhat.
But that's not what this.
And it's not supposed to. They're not supposed to do that. But like
this was they took a fun little circus monkey and they said.
I mean, they stretched like one episode of the show out into an entire movie. Basically, I feel like.
But not even though
no.
It wasn't an episode of the show. That's what
I wish they did.
It was at war with itself, trying to be you don't take that fun, goofy ass show and then like put the straight jacket of gritty new Hollywood, like new blockbuster on it. Like that was why it felt weird because they didn't really know what to do, so they just did the like.
Can we go back to the monkey? Yeah. I want to hear what happens to the monkey.
You have a circus monkey. He's fun. He does fucking flips and tricks, and you love him. And he's a raucous good time. But he's a good time at the circus.
Then you put him in the boardroom.
But you gotta bring him. But now it's okay. What are you doing? There's a kid's birthday party, and there's some conventions to a kid's birthday party. He can't be running around and jumping on people's heads because the kids are gonna cry. So you tell the monkey, no, just do the thing where you stand on the stage and you kind of flip a couple times, and then everyone goes to see the monkey that they know is a lot of fun, and it only does a couple flips, and you're like. I get it because it's a party.
But like, I feel like if
it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, you like that?
But I feel like if they just adapted like the TV vibe, though, I feel like it would still not be good. Just because like the TV show isn't good.
It wouldn't work as a movie, dude. It was not going to work.
Yeah. You do not take the TV vibe.
I feel like they took the beats of a TV episode by like, oh, like there's one bad guy, there's one thing we need to fight, we need to build the team together.
Sure.
They have some personal problems, end with the fight, and that was the entire movie.
Right. But I think a lot of what like the structure of a TV show comes from is obviously the time constraint. So like I don't necessarily agree that this was like a stretched out like it was set up like a TV show.
I feel like they had obviously the origin. Like it wasn't they had the added origin and then an episode.
This movie is like a big desert. Like you got this small oasis at the beginning and then a whole fuckload of nothing and then like you get
a gas
somewhere,
station.
I guess. Yeah, like
at the fucking Fritos.
At the end, where it's just like it does feel stretched out, but not in like a hey, we took a TV show and stretched it out. It's like hey, we only wrote like a little bit.
No, I feel like maybe it's like the first 2 episodes of a show. It's like we introduce the characters, establish that they have powers, then we get one big fight.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I feel like yeah.
Final thoughts.
It's a frustrating movie.
It is a frustrating movie.
Okay. We're gonna do 3-headed critic on the Power Ranger. Who wants to start? Cam, you want to start?
Wait, how does
this game? So basically, we all say one word, and we keep going around clockwise until it's a coherent thought.
Until it's like a sentence. Until it's like a blurb review.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So who's gonna start?
I'll start with Cam. Just pick any word.
This
story
was
meh.
However,
I
loved
leaving
Las Vegas.
What?
That's 2 words.
Different movie review in the movie review.
This movie was meh, but I love leaving Las Vegas.
Great.
Thank you guys. All right. Hey, this has been Reasonable Beef about Power Rangers. Cameron, please plug. What do you got? Anything cool coming out?
Just weekly shorts, youtube.com/CamsCreations. Potentially a longer project coming down the road.
Very cool.
It's a Power Rangers reboot. After seeing this movie, I just like wrote. No, just kidding.
Do it again. Got in touch with Ari Shankar.
Some longer
Forgot he did that already.
Addy.
What a guy. We'll talk about him one day. Cam's Creations, youtube.com. Let's get Cam to 100,000. He's almost there. He's so close.
Oh yeah.
Did you get wild views though for not having 100,000 subscribers?
I think it's just like I'm a total sellout and I play the YouTube game.
Sure. I like this video, but I hate this guy.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what they're saying to you, dude.
Thank you guys. This has been Reasonable Beef. Dom, anything happening in your life you want to talk about?
I'm just still working on a lot of stuff. I would hope someday soon I get to say something about them.
Rad. Okay. Nick, do you have anything cool? He doesn't have a mic. He's gesturing.
Come here, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Come on, Nick.
I want to introduce you guys to Nick Calipini. He's our audio producer.
Not unlike Power Rangers, we spent the majority of the show leading up to just the introduction of a new guy.
Yes, of a new character.
Most exciting part of
it's the one you want to see.
Hello.
Cool.
I'm a new character, I guess.
Yes.
What are you doing? You do anything cool lately?
I have a SoundCloud. I'm always working on music.
Cool.
I have a few songs that I'm working on that I'm actually pretty proud of. So
What's your SoundCloud?
SoundCloud.com/the ghost story. So it's like THE and then ghost, and then you take the ST from story and you like ghost story.
Oh, ghost story. Yeah,
Ghost Story. It's the place you go to purchase your ghost.
Welcome to Poppington's Ghost Story.
I make
Deals are to die for.
I make electronic beats, I guess.
Yeah, dude.
Singer-songwriter stuff.
It's popping. So I'll link that in the John. And also, please go to www.patreon.com/reasonablebeef and become a monthly sustaining member.
Mr. Potter.
Okay, thanks. Bye. Goodbye.
If you donate over $50 a month, I will send you a risque picture.
All right, I'll add that to the Patreon.
I will take Cam's picture and I will send it out without his permission.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But that's
And you're going to destroy my car.
That's totally
But it's
fine.
gonna be fine because then I'll get to be a superhero.
Yes. If you give 10,000.
You heard it here first, folks. If you're a cool teenager, rules don't apply.
No, it's if you have power, rules don't apply.
If you have a power zone, you gotta go and get into the mountain.
Please cut the mic.
Down into the space.
Please cut his mic.
If you go in,
Are we done recording?
go to spaceship, we're gonna make you go, and you gotta get down and have a punch.
What a now.
I hated this.
Yeah, I really hated Power Rangers, man. I didn't expect to like hate it. Can we like go get some goddamn like breakfast?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
It's time for that.